Hi, today I want to talk to you about the importance of creating the right visibility in your infrastructure. Visibility is key for most security devices to take the right kind of decisions. Visibility is also one of the things that are probably the most hard to achieve in any kind of infrastructure. Working with clients over the years, in Help AG, we've really worked out an architecture that allows us to create flexible and easy to deploy visibility for the security solutions that we deploy in customers' infrastructures. Fundamentally, most networks are created by two different kinds of traffic flows or environments that communicate to each other. We have our users communicating towards our data center. And these two environments are connected by our infrastructure. The challenge here is that as we deploy security solutions, these devices will typically be implemented on the same infrastructure. As an example, it could be that we want to look into SSL encrypted traffic, so we deploy an SSL decryption device. It could also be that we want to look for vulnerabilities in the traffic, so we deploy an IPS device. And if we want to be clever around how we look at the signals that network traffic is creating in the environment, we implement network traffic analyzers or network behavior analysis tools. Each and every one of these devices, they need to see the network traffic between the users and the data center in order to make the correct kind of traffic or decisions. The issue here is that typically all of these devices are implemented as pearls on a string, which means that maintaining any of these devices becomes really challenging because you have to break that infrastructure that all of your other traffic is running on. As an example, if our IPS device is creating some form of issue in the traffic between a user and the data center, we will have to make the decision potentially to remove that IPS device from our traffic flow. The issue now is that the investment that you made into that IPS device is now not, you're not benefiting from it because it's the whole user network communicating to the whole data center network that is no longer being inspected by that IPS device because we removed it from the traffic flow. With a proper visibility infrastructure, this works in a very, very different way. So if we have the same scenario of a user environment connecting to our data center environment, instead of utilizing this kind of environment over here, we create a system that allows us to program how traffic flows are working. So we can place our SSL device, our IPS device, our network traffic analysis solution, maybe our network DLP solution as well, on this specific environment. And now, in the example before where I had a specific flow from a user which was not working through the IPS device, I can now program this environment to say that from this specific user communicating to this specific server, don't send that traffic through my IPS device. So I'm still benefiting from the investment that I made in the IPS system for the rest of the networks as they communicate together. Another key benefit you get out of this is that, of course, we do not only cover the user towards the data center scenario, but we can now reutilize the security tools that we placed inline by integrating more network segments or more environments into this specific solution. So for instance, it could be that I'm very interested in also looking at the traffic from my users when they communicate to the internet. And the same way as before, I can utilize the same infrastructure to create this form of visibility. When you move your data center into the cloud, as many of us are trying to do right now, of course, this environment also scales us to cover cloud environments as well. With the right visibility infrastructure in place, you're going to benefit from a much better investment value of your existing security solutions. Your infrastructure is also going to be more manageable. And finally, much more secure. Visibility and being able to create the right visibility for your security tools is really a foundational requirement for any enterprise architecture. Feel free to reach out to us so that we can talk to you about how we achieve that in your infrastructure.